Hey guys, this is Jack from Jack's Garage. Today I'll be installing the factory tow hooks for my Dodge Ram 1500 Sport. Let's get started. I've read a lot of the forums to see if the hooks would even install on the Sport. From what they said, they do. There's a little bit of a confusion whether they should go this way or they should go this way. I'm going to install them how they are on the other trucks. So I actually picked these up for $25 from the junkyard. They came with the one bracket and then the bolt in the back. What was missing, I didn't know, was the piece that actually hooks it to the truck. So there's a little bit of an angle. So I had to cut these up and fab them myself. And there are two different configurations. They either can go from the bottom and then put your bracket in between the tow hook, or you can put it in from the top, which we're going to go in from the top. And then the hook will just come from the bottom and we'll screw those on. I saw that on one of the guys on the YouTube channel that has a brand new Rebel. So I also cleaned them up, they're pretty shiny, with this roll bar and chassis paint, this VHT product. I think they really came out looking clean, look like they'll look brand new when I put them on the truck. So let's get started installing them. On the front of the Sport, this is what it looks like. This piece was in here, had a bunch of clips on it. I really had to force it in to get it to pop out. But it was pretty easy. The only thing is the outer part is kind of crunched in on some plastic trim in there that you can't really get out. So the goal would be that we're going to cut a square out here, and that's where the hook's going to come through. So what I did was I actually got a piece of cardboard and laid it over the top, or laid it under the plastic itself and then cut along it. I've got to trim off about a ½ inch on there so I actually can get the piece to fit in. So what we'll do is we'll install the hook right in here, and then we'll put the piece on and then cut it, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. And then once it is 100%, then we'll line it up with this back plastic piece and then take the Dremel and then cut the piece out. I'm under the truck to show you how to install the hook. So these two were already there when I got under here. So I just removed the nuts from the top. Here's the bracket that I had to mock up or fab myself. It's just an angle iron, and then I flipped this bracket that came with the hooks upside down, and then the hook will just slide through here. So you just pop this on, get my nut with the sliding washer on there snugged up, and then we'll push that up. So I think it'll be easier with it mounted like this to get the tow hook in. I've got the top bracket installed. Now I'm going to slide the hook in. So you can see how the two bolts are coming down. I've got a rag in the front so that it won't scratch the bumper. Push it down in place. Alright, then we'll get the back bolt. Put that one in, keep it in place. I'm going to have to slide down so I can see it. Then I'll get the impact. Alright. Okay. Then final piece we'll be putting these two screws in. So it's a little tight in there. I might have to loosen this down a little bit. So they're held in by 18mm heads there. So that's really the only tool that you need is the 18 on a couple of different wrenches. Had to loosen the bottom bolt up to allow a little bit of play right here. Got these two nuts on, and then we'll cinch this down, and then we'll be able to work on getting our template to cut out the front valance piece or the grill piece, whatever you want to call it. And this is what it looks like installed. You can see the nut on the bottom, got the bracket coming through the top, and then this is what that bracket I put together looks like. And it's all tightened down. Let's go cut out the template. I trimmed down the template a little bit more so it would fit in here perfectly. So it doesn't fit in perfect, but it's pretty close. And then when you flop it over, looks like it fits in too. So this is kind of what it looks like. It's got the lower part here, just like that front, and kind of fits in the middle. So it's pretty close. I'm going to pop it in on the bottom of this, and then get a kind of rough estimate of where I think I need to do my first cuts at. And I'm really debating whether I want to cut out the whole square for this just to pop out, or just cut here. So if I can try to maneuver it around, but I'm not sure I'll be able to. I think I'm going to have to cut the entire distance. So what it looks like is the hook size is around 6 inches, and then from the far corner of this to the other side of the hook is about 11. So I'm going to go 11 inches over. I'm going to go 11 inches over and put a mark, and then go 6. I'll go 11 inches over, then go 6 inches from that. Now I need the height. So from the bottom here, it looks, let's see, looks like it's about 1 inch. That might be a little high, but we want our first cut to be a little tight. And then it looks like the thickness of the hook is about 1 inch too. So we'll put 1 inch. We'll put a mark up 1 inch from here, and then we'll put another mark for 1 inch, and we'll get our first rectangle and cut it out. I was using this side and then decided to flip it over. This one looks like it kind of is a better cutout for that. And then once we get this cut out, I should be able to flip it over and use the exact same thing for the other side. So I've got it 6 inches wide, 1 inch high, and then a little over 1 inch wide. So it looks like the piece will fit right through. So I'm going to now cut this out, and then we'll try to slide it on and see what it looks like. Now we'll plot that little piece out, see what she looks like. So not too bad. Got a little bit I could trim over on the far end here. Probably could come over about 1/4 inch. I'm not sure. We're going to try to get a little bit more shaved off the bottom also. So let me try to cut it some more. I liked where the template was and the size of it, so I'm going to push it down just a hair and then tape it down. The tape is to keep it secure when we're cutting it. Push it down just a hair more. And then you can see we're going to be cutting off one of these blades once I go through it. So there's a top one, we're not quite into it, but we will be on this one. So I've got a Dremel, I've just got this cutting tool on there that's made for wood, so we're going to use it for this plastic. But I've also got this guard on there, so once we pop it through, be able to kind of keep it level and not go wild on us. Here's where I cut it out, peel off the tape, and that's where I'm at now. So I did go a little rogue there and go all the way to the outside, and then I butted it out right here to where we had our 11.5 inch dimension. So just so it looked like it fit clean, I made it in that space. So just kind of lined up that Dremel to be right along those edges. I used the file to get all the little fuzzies off of there, and that's what we came out with. So when I popped it on here to see what it looked like, I was happy with how it turned out. you just have to make sure to get it in there. And kind of see what it looks like. So when it pops forward, that's what it's going to look like. So, looks clean here. You can see the tow hook itself poking out there, and then once we pop this in, you won't really be able to see any of that, but I like how that turned out. So now we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side, and then we'll pop that piece in and finish up. I've got both sides completed. I sprayed some cleaner on here and wiped it all up. So I like things to go back on looking better than they started. So now I'm going to slide this in and get it installed. So it will take me a few minutes to get in here. So to tell you the truth, this is actually the second time I've done this. The first time was when my truck was stolen and the guy actually ran it into a florist van. So these tow hooks stabbed into the side of that van and really tore it up. So when they went to tow the one truck, or my truck, out of the side of that van, it destroyed it. So kind of wanted to put them back on. So like when I said when I took it off, the ends were probably the hardest thing to get in. So you just need to line up each one of these tabs in the front there. Like so. Okay, the top ones are lined up. Looks good. So I'm going to slide under here and try to push it on. Let's see. This last part did take two people to do it. I got inside, got my wife to push on the top, and then all the clips popped in. So it's really secure. We've got a good gap in between the two sides here of the tow hook. Plus, if we did have to get towed out of anything, we've got a lot of clearance around here to be able to get the tow hooks around and get it yanked out. So, looks pretty good. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe and like. And then if there's something that you would like done to your truck, just mention it in the comments and I'll try to see what I can do to get it done too. Thanks a lot and tune in next time.